today we have a kind of Inspector Border anti-meta stun deck that got first place in the OCG, and I have the deck here, so we're going to go over the deck, and it's actually kind of fun. It kind of looks like a lot of fun to play, just to be able to stun your opponent out of playing the game. But I want to point out a few things. First of all, keep in mind that they do have compulsory evacuation device at 3, and they also have Vanity's Emptiness at 1. They also have 2 solemn warnings, but in this case it's not that relevant. But they also have a Solemn Strike semi-limited and Card of Demise also semi-limited. So do keep those cards in mind, that then when if you want to make the deck like this, that you can't play 3 compulsory evacuation device in this deck, and you also can't play 1 Vanity's Emptiness, and you can't play 2 Solemn Strike if you ever, or Solemn Warning if you want to go that route. But let's just jump right into the deck. So we got in the way of the monster lines, there's only 11 monsters, 3 Inspector Border, 3 Thunder King Rai-Oh, 3 Fossil Dino, 1 Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries, and 1 Grand Mago de Aiza. I assume Grand Mago de Aiza is here because you're playing through Pot of Desires, and you have a lot of cards banished off this card. I think Phantom Knight Wing and Phantom Knight Sword banish themselves too, so it kind of makes this card a little bit of a monster. Having a 4,000 attacker every time that you activate a Pot of Desires is pretty good. Inspector Border is obviously really good because Inspector Border just prevents your opponent from doing anything. Thunder King Rai has always been one of those good stun cards, and so is Fossil Dino. So I'm not really surprised here. He's playing one. She actually, this actually comes off the Princess Cup thing. She actually ran 1 Winter Cherries. I assume because 3 Winter Cherries is probably it does not synergize very well with the rest of the deck. Specifically, if you're playing cards like Card of Demise and Pot of Desires, you kind of just going to be ended up banishing this card a lot most of the time. I'm wondering how many games it will be before your opponent, if you're managed to banish all 10 monsters or all 11 monsters in your deck. So it's really, really cool to see an anti-meta deck take first place. So we'll just jump right into the spells. There's only 8. 3 Pot of Desires, 2 Card of Demise, and 3 Pot of Duality. Again, these are just straight up. I think these are the best consistency cards in the game. There's really nothing much to say here. There's nothing really stun heavy about the spell lineup, really. The Card of Demise is only being a 2. Kind of. I would assume that this person would love to play 3. Stake out Pot of Duality and put 3 in here. Yeah. Next on to the trap lineup: 1 Storming Mirror Force, 3 Heavy Storm Duster, 3 Evacuation Device, 3 Phantom Knight's Wings, 1 Vanity's Emptiness, 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance, 3 Phantom Knight's Sword, 2 Solemn Strike, 1 Solemn Judgment, and 1 Solemn Warning. I assume this is a perfect ratio for the Solemn lineup. Solemn Strike is much better than Solemn Warning in a lot of ways, I would assume. Vanity's Emptiness is obviously good. We have it at 0, so obviously it's broken. Phantom Knight's Wings and Phantom Knight's Sword is kind of an interesting card. I actually don't know why this person's not playing Fogblade, I guess. Maybe because Fogblade is not... because Fogblade targets cards, or targets monsters, or it's just not as good. But then again, you wouldn't be playing Compulsions for the same logic, but... Heavy Duster, I assume that you're probably not going to be going into your Rattle Face too much, so this card's not that good. Or the card's not that not that impressive when it comes to its first effect. Or the second effect, the claws for it. Storming Mirror Force, only 1. I guess this is only because if your opponent just happens to get through 3 Compulse, 3 Phantom Sword, 3 Phantom Knight Wings, and the Sullen Brigade, you just got to have this backup plan. And plus, there probably is a lot of times where you just end up having no monsters ever, and this card just helps a lot with that. I'm really curious to see the logic behind only 1 instead of maybe 2 or 3, but we'll see if anything comes out about that. So on to the extra deck. The extra deck is purely for Winter Cherries targets. 1 Darklaw, 1 Blue Eyes Spear Dragon, 1 Beatrice, 1 Azathoth, 1 Borlo Dragon, 1 Firewall, 1 Double Helix, 1 Aromaseraphy Jasmine, 1 Crystalline Needle Fiber, 1 Security Dragon, 1 Crowley, The Origin of Prophecy, 1 Cherubini, 1 of each Brandishing Marin, 1 Kagiri, 1 Shizuku, and 1 Linkuribo. I'm really surprised that there's no Troymare cards in here, specifically Troymare Goblin or Troymare Mermaid. I guess because it's just an engine and people don't use it for the offensive. It's just there to like link up, I guess. But I'm really curious as to the reasoning behind not playing at least Mermaid. I would have played at least Mermaid. If not, I would play Unicorn. Unicorn's the best one in my opinion. So I think overall it's a very solid deck. I wonder when we're ever gonna get this thing. We're probably never gonna get this thing, but that's okay. I guess it's fine. It really doesn't matter, right? I mean, this overall deck is just kind of crazy. I kind of liked how this deck got first. There is a Cosmo deck that I might talk about later in the future. They got second, but I like this deck. It's kind of cool. It's a lot of fun. Looks like a lot of fun to play, not to play against, but to play. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll have the deck list in the description below. So do check it out if you want to play it online. So yeah, this has been Just Nuts. I'll be signing out.